Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Brewing with Magic. Today's deck is inspired by a deck that absolutely destroyed me on the ladder the other day, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they drew an absolute amazing hand, and I started on one that maybe was a little greedy or a little slow. The only reason I mention that is because of the fact that as much as I love this deck and I think it is a blast, I think if you don't draw the opening hand that is going to like do what you need it to do in that game right away, you're probably not going to win. Especially, you really kind of want to get to that colossal plow into a giant ox opening. It's super important. We're calling the deck Armed and Dangerous because of the Armed and Armored card. Let me go over the cards real quick, what's in it, what they're doing, and then we'll get into some gameplay. So we have 4 copies of Frostbite. I'm sure you know that one by now. We have 4 copies of Colossal Plow, which we have talked about in a previous deck as well. Pretty good card. I'm sure you've seen it around. We have 2 copies of Armed and Armored. You might not have seen this one, but maybe you have. It's 1 white, 1 colorless. It's an instant. Vehicles you control become artifact creatures until end of turn. Choose a dwarf you control, attach any number of equipment you control to it. So we're calling it Armed and Dangerous because the deck is armed and it is dangerous, but we're only using the first half of the card, not the second half of the card. Get it? I love explaining a good title. Then we have 4 copies of the Giant Ox to power up the Colossal Plow, or just be a really big obnoxious blocker if we don't have the plow out. We have 4 copies of Magda, Brazen Outlaw, really amazing creature from the new deck. 1 red, 1 colorless, 2/1 legendary creature. Other dwarves you control get +1/+0, already pretty good because you have a lot of them in your deck. Whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. Now you're mana ramping, really good. Sacrifice 5 treasures, search your library for an artifact or a dragon card, put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Not very often you're going to go get a vehicle with this, and there's no dragons in the deck, but it's there if you need it. 4 copies of Rimrock Knight Dwarf. We have 7 copies of 7 Dwarves, because if you're going to play the card, why not have 7? And it's a dwarf. 2 copies of Funeral Longboat. We have 3 copies of Raider's Carve. If you haven't seen this one, 3 colors for a 4/4 vehicle cruise 3. Whenever Raider's Carve attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it is a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. Just so you know, if you do take that ability and it is a pathway, whatever the top pathway is, that is the card that is coming into play. You're not going to get to choose between both sides. Keep that in mind if you need the back color, that you don't want to take that when it says, would you like to? No, you don't. Decline. So then we have 6 snow-covered plains. We have 12 snow-covered mountains. We have 4 copies of the red-white pathway, and we have 2 faceless havens. So basically what you want to do, your best opening hand is going to be a turn 2 Colossal Plow or a turn 2 Funeral Longboat. And what that does is pretty much now it gives all the creatures in your deck pseudo haste for the rest of the game. The Plow is the best because of the fact that you can go turn 2 Colossal Plow into a turn 3 Giant Ox, attack with the Plow, gives you 3 colorless mana. You probably have a red left over still maybe on that turn, because to get the Ox out you spend 1 white, 1 red. So now you have a red open. You would create 3 mana after hitting them for 6, and now you can throw another creature if you want to, any of the creatures in your deck, because you have the red mana plus the 3 white, or you could throw the Longboat, or you could throw the Raider's Carve. That's a really neat opening, and that's what you're trying to do. But you can also flood the board with a bunch of 7 dwarves, overwhelm them, and just take over the game that way. And if they wipe the board and they're at real low life, you can swing in with the Faceless Haven. And so that's how the deck runs. Before we get into gameplay, if you like any of our videos in the past or this one, you just think it's fun to listen, please, it means a whole lot to us. It helps out the channel a lot. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, comment down below. We want to hear from you. Anything you want to say, we'll listen. And then wait till the end. There will be a summary. Let's get into the gameplay. Hello, German toasts. Okay. I like it. Maybe better than French toast. I don't know. Okay, Colossal Plow and a Giant Ox. Sounds like we're going to keep this. It's a keeper. Especially with a plains and 2 mountains. We have the 7 dwarves. It's all good. Pretty good opener. So we'll lead off with a mountain pest turn and see what German Toast has got for us. Be so fun if they went up against someone named French Toast. Here comes the plow. Shoot, we can get the other plow out. Use powered up with the 2 7 dwarves. That's not a good game plan. Opponent goes into Foretell. Throw another snow-covered mountains out because we drew one. Throw out a Giant Ox. power up the giant, the snow plow, the colossal plow, snow plow. That was an old video, different deck. Powered up, swing in for 6, get ourselves 3 mana. German toast, and we have It Me Ogre. It Me Ogre. Okay, well, we have both of our lands since we have a snow-covered mountain and a pathway that we could throw on white. We have a colossal plow, we have a giant ox, and we go first. Let's keep it. Let's start with the red. If we need to kill something on this turn, we can with the frostbite. But let's see what Me Ogre up to. Me Ogre up to a forest. Now we'll throw this out on white, as we said, and we lead off with a colossal plow. Opponent's probably going to play some. Okay, never mind. I don't know what they're on now. Green, white counters. Okay, anyways. Back to the plan. We'll leave the red open. I mean, since it's tapped out, we'll power up the colossal plow with the ox. Swinging in with the ox. Like a beast. Okay, let's use the red that we have available still for the turn. And are we going to throw this next turn? That's the thing, because maybe next turn I want to throw this out so that we can get to the armed and dangerous. So let's save, if I'm not throwing this anyways, let's save the frostbite for the red for the frostbite instead of, you know, using that. Now, I still want to save it, but we have all that mana we're using. Ignore that part. Ignore that part. And I've played this card a few times, but usually the white mana is just... I forget, but we're sticking with our plan. We're holding up the frostbite. They've got to throw something this turn. I mean, it only hits 2 damage. Okay, I think our plow's going bye-bye, but that's okay. We have the Raiders carve. No, it's the ox. Okay. If they only knew we had the armed and dangerous. Okay. I think this is good for us, because this turn we're going to power it up with the Rimrock. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to power it up, like I was just going to say, with the Rimrock. Then we will power you up. That's why I love that card in this deck. We're going to go ahead and we're going to swing in for 4. Okay, so we know what we have coming up. So next turn, we represent lethal, depending on what they throw into play or what they do, because we have the armed and dangerous. That is perfect. That's, I don't know if they don't know it, but It Me Ogre, sorry. I'm gonna do it now. That way, if they have a pump spell, it kills it still. Okay. I mean, unless they had, the one that gives it hexproof for 1 green, whatever it is. I can't off the top of my head remember, but I know the card. Reclaim the Waste. Search your library for basic land. This game is over. Our opponent just doesn't know it yet. Next, all attack. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Good game, opponent. Love the name, It Me Ogre. Ooh, it is a wolf. Let's see if I can take you for a walk. Put you on leash. Control your life. Okay, silly. Okay, well, the Great Ox really does like the plow, but that's okay. They'll play with the long boat for a whole 1. I mean, we'll probably end up with the 7 dwarves first, and then that way. Anyways, it's a keeper. We have the Faceless and the 2 snow-covered mountains. Since we can't, you know, we don't really need the Ox right now anyways. It's okay that we don't have the white yet. Turn 2 Funeral into the 7 dwarves, and then hopefully we hit a white in the between there and throw the Ox that way over cruise this. Okay, well, hey, a second 7 dwarf is good. Let's throw the Faceless Haven now and start with the Longboat. Just because every turn going forward, it gives us the most value throwing out something new and then attacking instantly with it. Pseudo haste. So our black-white opponent now throws a swamp. So what do we have? Revitalize. It's an angel deck, maybe? Let's throw the other mountain out. We'll throw a 7 dwarves. We'll power up the Funeral Longboat. Swing on in for 3. And that's our turn. We have 3 snow lands now, so the Frostbite's all powered up. So if they throw in, like, if they throw the 2/4 angel, then we can't do anything about that. But if they throw the 1/3, the young one, the one that gets bigger and bigger, we can kill it. So many cards out there. Play them so often, and too many to remember. Let's see. So that we don't kill. Flying lifelink at the beginning of your end step. You gain 3 more life this turn. Oh, yeah. So we can kill it next turn with the frostbite, but they're going to be able to successfully block us. It'll be a pain. So we'll take the turn. Hey now. Let's throw the plow. We throw the plow, and then we have the frostbite. For this turn, we're still going to run into this dude. So let's power up the longboat just because we can. Swing on in. If our opponent blocks. Okay. That's what we wanted to see. There we go. So now next turn, especially if we draw a white land, we are in it. But if we don't, then we 7 dwarves, and then we power up the colossal plow with the 2 7 dwarves. We attack, and then we'll have white land to throw the ox. Then we can maybe start rolling a little bit. That's if our opponent doesn't have other plans, and they usually do. Let's see if Wolf can be the leader of the pack. So they throw the priest. Whenever you gain life, we lose. Oh, yes. Okay. So that's a big turn for us. We'll throw this down as white. We throw the 7 dwarf. Make sure it's tapping the right lands. We throw the 7 dwarves out. We throw out the ox. We power up the plow with the ox. We power up the funeral boat with the summoning sick 7 dwarves. And they can kill our other 7 dwarves. That's fine. We swing in with the lot, 3 life, and 3 mana, locked and loaded in. They're probably going to block. If they want to block the plow, that's fine. We still got in with it. We still got to attack with it. And they're never getting by our ox. So they choose not to do anything. And before we end the turn, let's throw another ox. That blocks. And that rhymes. Up in here. Okay, stop. Not only does it block, but if we wanted to kill this creature, we could power up the funeral longboat and kill it, but I don't like that idea. We will stick with a blocker, using the other one to colossal plow. Do it again. Rinse and repeat. Next turn we need if we draw a land, we want it to be a snow one, not another pathway, and then we can fire up the faceless. If not, almost every other creature is pretty good in the deck. Preferably no more vehicles, and if we draw our armed and armored next turn, coming in hot. But that, once again, we're waiting on Wolf here. Let's see what Wolf does. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1 life. Okay. I guess if we don't draw another creature, we use both oxes for both of these, but we would like to draw another creature. Gain 4 life. Whenever you gain 4 life. No. Whenever you gain. Okay, I see what's happening here. We're way ahead on life, so we're fine. Not like way ahead of them, but enough to where we're only at 21 after taking, what, 4 damage. So they're trying to do everything they can. Now I see that we're in a bit of we're pretty good position here. So, good. Okay. So we throw out the snow land. We use the ox to fire up the plow. We use the other ox to fire up the funeral longboat. We power up the faceless haven. And we go to town. Gain 3 life, gain 3 mana. We don't really need the mana, but the life is pretty cool. There we go. Block as you would like, my friend. So the imposter, impassioned orator is going to block the colossal plow, it looks like. And maybe they're going to try to hold on. Maybe the marauding blight priest is like a crucial part of their deck. Maybe they're not blocking. Probably a 7 dwarf. Or a longboat. I was going to say a longboat or a faceless haven. Those are the only options that they have from here. Okay, so they're going to use the blight priest to block the plow, then leaving the impassioned to block the faceless haven. We don't mind those blocks. So the colossus plow goes down, but they go down to 7. And I don't know what it's. I guess we could do that. I don't know why it's holding up like we can do anything else. Let's just pass the turn. Okay, they play another land. 3 cards in hand. We are pretty much locked into what's on the board. They're going to gain 4 life with Light of Hope. and pacify one of the 7 dwarves, but it doesn't say it can't crew a vehicle. We don't really need it to, so that's kind of a joke. Let's go ahead and power up the Faceless Haven. We'll power up the Funeral Longboat with the 7 dwarves because we can, leaving these to block. Swing in. Not with these. No, not you. Not you. There we go. Swing in with those 3. Now we could use, you know, the longboat as a blocker if they had a hasty creature. I doubt they do. Let's use the leftover manas to throw our Funeral Longboat and end the turn. Wolf, we have you caged. You are ours. But we will treat you well. No, we release you. Catch and release. Too wild. Light of Hope. I love it that they keep going. Good game. An amazing name. Okay, we have Funky Monkey. That monkey. That funky monkey. Okay, so we have 2 snow-covered mountains and a pathway. So we have all of our colors. We don't have any vehicles. 2 Frostbites, Rimrock Knight, 7 Dwarves. Let's see what this kind of hand does. Let's see what the hand does in this situation. Throw the mountain, pass the turn, and see what our opponent has going on. It is a swamp, pass the turn, and we get an ox. So let's get on the board with the 7 dwarves. We'll throw the other mountain, throw the 7 dwarves. We throw the ox before we get the snowplow. Like, the snowplow is going to have summoning sickness, so we can throw the ox the turn after for element of surprise, if you will. No point in running unless they throw a creature like that we just want to block constantly. Or we want to do, let's see, what do you do? Return from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, I remember that. So I think now is the time to throw the Funeral Longboat, because now I can just use the Ox to, I mean, pretty big crew for what it is. And then we'll throw this out on white, and then we'll swing in for the 1, or for the 2. If they want to block, they can. We'll take 1 on the crack to the back. See what they got going on. Yep, there's the 1. They throw a land, they attack, and is it just a pass? Okay, it is. It is another snow-covered mountain, so we've got all the red we need. Let's throw the ox. Throw the ox and knock off their socks. So, let's man the longboat with the ox. There we go. Let's swing in with everything. See if they kill one with the removal spell before we pump it with that. Next. 2 attackers. Do we have a removal? Okay. We'll pump up the longboat then. And now we know we want to save the Frostbite for the Murderous Rider. Don't mind this little 1/2. Just not an issue. And then now next turn we can throw the Rimrock Knight. I mean, we don't need it because we have the Ox to power the longboat, but we'll want to attack with it eventually. That's going to be part of the plan. They're going to attack for 1. We are taking it. Do they throw the Murderous Rider? Why would you, what are they? I don't, because if you just what, how to. Okay, they're gonna kill the Funeral Longboat as soon as we power it up before we attack. So we'll do that before we throw Rimrock and a 7 dwarves, because we already know that the Funeral Longboat is going to die. I'm assuming, I don't know, I mean, is it a Hagra's Maul? Is that what it is? Why are they saving murder? Okay. What? You did it in the wrong. It was already. Poor opponent. I'm sorry. Okay, they're running a creature style deck where they're returning stuff. I don't think they're going to have a board wipe. So maybe it's wrong to not throw both of these this turn. But let's throw this out this turn because it'll be bigger to attack. And just hold on to this till next turn, so that if they do somehow have mass removal, we don't just lose the game because I threw the 7 dwarfs as well. Funky Monkey throws another swamp. I'm afraid of what's going to be coming up soon. Probably an Ugin late game. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this card. Murder hasn't been around a while. Of course, we all know Murderous Rider. Murderous Rider. Okay, there's the Murderous Rider. Okay, so end of their turn. Let's get rid of that. Yep. Shoot it with the Frostbite. Oh, we don't kill them this turn. Another mountain? Not that it matters. We don't kill them this turn by frostbiting that attacking. So I think I still swing with both because no, I'm just gonna swing with this one this turn because that way if they block, okay, I was gonna say we get removal because they would have blocked here. Now if they have a board wipe, I played right into it. But so I didn't need to throw the 7 dwarves that turn at all. There's no point. I could have just powered that up with the funeral or with the. But maybe they want to block the room. I don't know. Maybe. So they're returning that to their hand. Are they going to cast it? Then we're just going to rinse and repeat this. Okay. Okay. They had 2 of those, huh? We have another. Let's see. Okay, we have a 3rd creature now. They can keep bringing this back over and over these, so they'll take that block. So this has to get powered by the Rimrock Knight. And then we have to swing with both. If that's what they're going to do every turn, then once we throw this one out, we'll get some damage in. Okay. So throw another one. See if they do the same. Oh, they can't do it again because they had one in their hand. So that was a turn where they got a whole like turn there. Oh no, it's another land. I was hoping because they were waiting for a land, I think. So we'll see. They can bring 1 to their hand. Woe Strider. Okay. Woe Strider is good for us because now at the end of their turn we can frostbite it. They'll sack the goats. Yeah, all that fun stuff. Okay. Okay, here we go. Bye-bye, Woe Strider. They're going to sack the goat. Scry. I think this is lethal, right? Just oh wait, they don't want to scry because it would have been lethal. So what gets I need any creature to power the funeral longboat, and we might okay, flash. When enters the battlefield, draw X cards where X is the number of creatures that died this turn under your control. Well, that worked out for them. So Rimrock Knight. Okay. So how do I do this the right way? I feel like they're going to want to kill one of the Rimrock Knights just because they're bigger no matter what. So I don't think I can afford to do tricks. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw out the Rimrock Knight. Power up the Funeral Longboat with the Rimrock Knight we just threw. And we're going to swing in with everything. They can only kill 1 of our creatures this turn. They're going to stop 2, kill 1. So there's the kill. They're going to kill the longboat to end that. The 1/0/1 token doesn't kill anything. It just stops something. So it brings them down to 2. We're at 18. They have 6. Count them, 6 land currently. They only need what to escape? I think it's what, 4? 4. So they can throw a Woe Strider out again and have 2 blockers. They don't have what it takes. Nice. Good game. Funky Monkey. Kronos is the next opponent. Okay, cool. We have 7 dwarves, 7 dwarves, and 7 dwarves. So that's 3, 7 dwarves. All of our lands, Colossal Plow. Let's give it a try. We could even swing with the plow after our second dwarf comes out. if we want to go that direction. Because it might be awkward to go plow into a 7 dwarves, and only being... Yeah, it seems a little... Maybe, like it's a little awkward, but you never know. Maybe the plow is the play in case we hit the ox. Frostbite. So, like I said, we don't have the ox. This is just weird. Like, if I throw the plow this turn, then we threw the 7 dwarves, then the other 7 dwarves, then we're not attacking for, like, what, 3 more turns? Because we need both of them to do the plow. It's a whole... Yeah. Black-blue is already dangerous. Oh, Soaring Thought Thief. Sneaky, sneaky. So we'll throw you out on red because we have so much of it. Throw out another 7 dwarves. Swing on in and let them... Feel free to block that. Feel free to block that, my friend. Another snow-covered land, and we could just blast that, but... Now they got to untap. We might not get to do that period. I mean, if they attack, they'll definitely be putting 2 mana's worth of counter spells on the board. Okay, and there's a Merfolk Windrobber. And a Foretold card. I think it might be worth frostbiting that Merfolk Windrobber. Yes, yes, they mill us for 2. Oh, we were going to get a Magda. That would have been nice. Because these... Oh. I guess it doesn't really... It wouldn't have been that nice. Then we have a bunch of land. So let's definitely frostbite the Windrobber while they're out of mana. If we can get an untapped snow land, then we will frostbite that while they're tapped. Then we'll throw out a 7 dwarfs. They don't play board wipes in this deck because that's how they roll. Then we pass turn with 3 7 dwarfs, and rogues can't mess with that. We have Slump God. I don't know what that means. Okay, so we have 2 snow-covered mountains. Fossil Plow, Funeral Longboat, Giant Ox, Magna, and 7 Dwarves. We go first. No white for the Ox. Ox doesn't go out till turn 3 after the Plow. Let's keep it and see what happens. See what Slump's got. They are on red, green, tap. Are they on Gruul? Are they... I mean, I'm used to that being in a trickery deck. There's another red, so that does not boast well for us. If we don't draw white, then we'll start... we'll throw the longboat, and we're just playing... we're playing the long game. We're not being real rushy vehicles. There is another Temple Abandoned. It's right at the top. Makes me nervous just because I don't know what they're playing. But hey, there's the white. Here comes the Giant Ox. We leave a red open. We man the Colossus. Plow with the Ox. We swing in for 6. We gain 3 life. Gain 3 white manas. And then let's throw out the Funeral Longboat. And the Magda. Now that turned into an aggressive turn real fast. Pop in off. See if they have other plans to pop off back at us. It is a snow-covered mountain. Oh, man. I mean, we're just kind of just going to run through them, I guess. Like if I throw another Plow, I don't even need to. I mean, Giant Ox. Another Giant Ox. I can throw the 7 Dwarves. I can man the Longboat with the new Ox. We can and we can... Oh, yeah. I could have did it with that. It didn't matter. It didn't matter either way. Then we swing in for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're to 26 life. We get a treasure token. We have 3 mana if we needed it. We swing in. Now, our opponent hasn't done anything yet, but I mean, by turn 3... Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. It's time for the summary. As you saw, the deck is extremely explosive. When it goes off, it is so much fun to play. I have a blast every time I get to throw a Colossal Plow into a Giant Ox. It just kind of makes me giggle a little. But let's see. What would I do? What were the problems in the deck? Where were the holes that we need to board up? So for me, I've got a few ideas over here already for us. First off, I feel like the Raiders card is really nice, but I think 2 of them is plenty. If you draw it too early, or even having to throw it on turn 3 is a little awkward. You really want the Colossal Plow or the Funeral Longboat. depending on your hand, and to me that was just a lot better, but I would have liked one more of the armed and armored, so we're gonna add that over here. And then, hey, what are you doing? Stay in that lane. So, and then I don't think that this particular 2-color deck, being that there is nothing in the deck that costs more than 2 that has either white or red in it, because the only thing that costs 3 is the Raider's Carve. So I don't think the pathways are necessary, and the deck goes so fast when it goes off that I think there were times I actually lost with the deck because I didn't have a 3rd Snowland. Instead it was that, or even a 4th Snowland, so that, or, you know, 3 other Snowlands plus the Faceless Haven. I couldn't fire it up, or I really needed the Frostbite to have that 3 damage, and I didn't have it because my 3rd land was one of those. So that being said, I think I would bring in 2 more, 1 more plains, 1 more snow-covered for mountain, so those, and then bring in 2 Faceless Havens. So that is how I'd run the deck. I actually, the more I'm looking at it, I gotta be honest with you, maybe the Faceless Havens could be in the way if you draw too many, because you do need your colors, but I don't think so. So down in the comments, do me a favor. Should this only have the 2 Faceless Havens, how I had it, and add back in 1 more Raider's Carve and maybe a 4th Armed and Armored, or, and that would be more of a tight package, or do you think we should have 3 Faceless Havens and then add one back the Raider's Carve or the 4th Armed and Armored instead? So it's either take out 2 and add 1 and 1, or take out 1 and add either of those. Let me know down in the comments. Please, real quick, hit that subscribe button, completely free. Hit like for the video. It means a whole lot to us over here. And as always, until next time, have a blast in the arena.